Hello, my name's Cecilia and welcome to this yoga practice designed for energy alignment with your heart chakra. So heart chakra relates to our ability to be open with ourselves and others, and our ability to connect with care, with compassion, with ourselves. So today's practice, we are going to focus on opening up through our chest area, but also building a little bit more strength and stability in our foundations and integrity in our core that will support our opening through the heart space and allow us to move a bit more freely in the upper areas of our body, our minds, and our spirit. So we're going to begin seated. Find yourself a comfortable seat. Ideally cross-legged today. If your lower spine is scooping, find a cushion, a book, or a block, ideally a block, and pop that under your seat. So that will give you a bit of length in your lower spine and allow you to move a little more freely in your breath. Hands, we're going to place them on our knees. So just hold gently onto your knees. Make sure your sit bones are grounded. We'll take a long breath out, exhale. Just going to breathe in and lift up through the chest, roll the shoulders back and gently tip the chin up. Breathing out, tuck the tailbone and one link at a time through the spine. We'll round through our spine, through the shoulders, tuck your chin in, gaze to belly button. Inhaling, lengthen the tailbone, the lower spine. Lift up through the chest, the shoulders drop away, lifting the chin. Exhale, rounding through the spine. We'll just continue a few cycles. Inhale, lifting. Feel free to gently tug on your knees to find a little more lift. Exhale, rounding. Feel your shoulder blades melt out. Really stretching through the back of the heart. Inhale. Exhale. Just listening to the breath. So the breath is prana, life force energy, and we want to try and keep the breath steady through inhales and exhales. Let's come back to center. Inhaling, gently lifting the chest, drop the shoulders, exhale. Inhale, take arms wide, big circle up. Eye gaze, follow the thumbs. Interlace your fingers and press your palms away. Exhale, we're rounding through the spine to push the palms forwards, long arms, and we tuck the chin in. So a little bit of length through the back of the neck. We're going to inhale, stay here and press the edges of your hands away while pressing down through your sit bones. And just breathing and observing. Notice how your breath in stretches the back of your lungs, your lower ribs. And the breath out decompresses your lower ribs. They're getting smaller, and the shoulders away from ears. On your inhale, we'll lengthen the spine, and as your chest lifts, your arms lift, gazing up. Exhale, arms part. We're going to take them behind, bend the elbows, interlace fingers, or just catch your forearms. We're going to inhale, shoulders roll up towards ears, gently pulling back, extend your arms behind. As you exhale, hinge through the hips and keep a long spine forward. So like there's a piece of string on your heart, tugging you forwards. We'll bring the arms overhead, just to where you can go. Breathe in, gently pulling the edges of your shoulders back. And breathe out, dipping your chest a bit lower, your crown a bit more heavy. Full breath in, pressing your hips down. Tugging the back of your neck forwards. And exhale, sinking a little deeper. On your inhale, core gently on to help you rise back up. Don't worry about a little curve in your spine. Lift the chest. And exhale, release the hands. And just let that energy flow from your heart center through your arms, your fingers. Great. Take a full breath in. Press the hands down beside you. A gentle breath out. I'm going to come to child's pose. So bring your knees as wide as the mat. Big toes to touch. We'll sink our heavy hips back to heels. On a breath out, walking the arms out long, and see if you can spread your chest out, melt your forehead down. Full breath in to the back of your heart. Feel your lungs really expand against your ribs. Slow breath out. The tailbone sinks and your spine lengthens all the way through to your neck. So you can stay here in your child or press the elbows down and bring the palms together in prayer above your head. Take a full breath in and press the elbows down, tug them towards you. As you breathe out, just feeling that stretch under the armpits, under your shoulder blades. Full breath in, broaden the collarbones. Yeah, so pushing the chest gently down. Exhale, shoulder blades gently pulling back down your ribs. One more full breath in. Long breath out. We'll bring the palms down onto the ground, fingers spread wide. Inhale, lift the hips, knees under hips. And try and keep your hips stacked over knees. And on an exhale, start to walk the hands forwards about 2 handprints and then out about 1 handprint and start to sink your chest down, straight down towards the ground. Now you might be here with your chin rested or forehead. You might only come to about here. You're very welcome to take a block and just rest that under your head. Or if you have a bolster, you could also slide that under your belly, but we'll only be here for a few breaths. So full breath in, tugging the tailbone up. And long breath out, gently resting your chest a little closer to the ground. And as you breathe here, notice if you're clutching tension in the shoulders. Can you breathe out and soften that space a little? Breathing in, breathing out. One more full round of breath here. Now as you breathe out, I want you to feel your belly button draw towards spine. And keep that gently switched on your core, switched on as you inhale. Tuck the tailbone and wrap the ribs in, front ribs in, as you lift back up to your tabletop, wrists below shoulders. Fingerprints nice and wide, fingers wide. Press into the left hand. Right hand sweeps up through the chest. Eye gaze follows the thumb. Exhale, right hand through the chest, under the armpit. And we'll thread it through to thread the needle. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. And we're just feeling that space open up across the right shoulder as you inhale, opening from thumb to thumb. Exhale. Inhale, now we're feeling this from our low ribs, every rib opening up to expose the left side. Exhale, we tuck under. Nice, one more round. Inhaling, pressing through the left thumb and first finger. Just feel that rebound open up through your wings. And exhale, we'll take that right hand back to the ground, tabletop. Spread your weight across the two hands, and then we'll press into the right hand, left hand up, inhale. Exhale, threading under the right armpit. Breathing in, and breathing out. So if you notice any particularly stiff and sticky parts, can you use the breath to just feed it through that movement, the stretch, and every round of breath, feel yourself softening and strengthening at the same time. Finding ways to enjoy caring for your body, connecting with your breath and your energy. So that little core activation just helps you lift and fall. Taking one more full breath in, pressing through right thumb and first finger. And let's just bring that left hand down beside its partner. Round of breath here, even out. So if you're really mobile in the elbows, just give yourself a micro bend rather than lock your elbows out. Handprints, two handprints in front. Let's tuck the toes. Inhaling, hips high. Exhaling, hips rock back, finding our first downward facing dog today. Eye gaze towards shins or to belly button. I'm going to grip all 10 fingers down. On an inhale, lift the tailbone. Exhale, gently drop the heel. So you can bend the knees as much as you need. If you're tight behind the knees, find a little forgiveness, a little slack. And just trust as you breathe and move, you're going to find a bit more space, a bit more strength. Good. So tapping into the awareness across our chest, our shoulders. Let's wrap the outer arms back, ribs tuck in. Still breathing, exhaling long through the back of the neck. We press through thumbs and first fingers. So stable foundations so we can keep a light heart and plenty of space to move. Eye gaze to shins. Let's inhale, lift the hips, the heels. And exhale, bend the knees, gaze forward, circle the hips back and up. We'll take a meandering walk, crossing the legs over each other, maybe the right foot first or the left foot. I want you to, as you breathe, really feel into your side bodies, your hips, your ribs, as you walk your way to the top of the mat. So as much bending of the knees as you need. I want you to keep that core gently wrapped in. Feet are hip width at the top of your mat. Footprints grounded. Halfway lift to scoop your heart forward, stuff flat back, shoulders back. Exhale, bend the knees, hands to opposite elbows and drop your crown, Ragdoll. Full breath in, left and right sit bones, pull up gently. Breathe out and just dangle your spine, your head, your rib cage is floating around your legs. And just becoming more aware of the foundations, your footprints, how your movements affect the pressure across your feet, the release across your hips. Until the stretches in your neck and heart are kind of just like a little toppling out of tension. Let's come back to center. Full breath in, left and right lungs expand. Exhale, melt your hands back to earth. Grow long through the roof of your mouth towards the earth and bend the knees a lot. Dip the tailbone and let's press through the feet to rise up, one bone at a time. So as many breaths as you need. Your lungs become like hot air balloons. Gently lengthening the spine up through the heart. Shoulders drop back, open the palms. Along through the neck, through the crown. Arms a wide circle to sky. Breathe in. Gently gazing up to thumbs. And exhale, hands to heart center. Samasthiti, even standing pose. Let's open with 3 deep Oms. Full breath into Om. A moment here to set your intention, a kind, loving intention for yourself, this practice. And just breathe that through your whole body. Send it through your feet, up through the legs, the belly, the heart, your prayer hands, all the way up through your crown. And crack the eyes open. Enjoy your practice. Let's bring big toes to touch, a small gap between heels. If that's not comfortable for your lower spine, just feel free to open the feet. Inhale, arms sweep wide to sky. Inhaling up. Gazing up to the thumbs. Breathing out here, tuck the ribs and dip the tailbone. So nice and long through the spine. If your neck is constricted here, just gaze forwards. Good. Deep breath into your lower ribs, so your back ribs fill up. Exhale, broadening through the collarbone, your shoulder blades slide down. Nice. Building a little more strength through the legs, can you press your inner and outer thighs back without sticking out your ribs? Let's take 2 more rounds of breath here. Find ways for yourself to expand, grow taller, while staying nice and grounded, stable through the feet. So if I were to appear and push you, you would not fall. Nice. Inhale, broaden the chest, gazing up. Maybe lean a little further back. Exhale, arms part, swan diving forwards. Let's hinge from the hips, long spine to fold. Release your head, halfway lift to breathe in. Flat back, thighs pressing back. Hands to mat, step back to your high plank. So option to lower the knees. As always, taking care of yourself. Let's breathe in and press through the thumbs, the first fingers, and dome through the back of the heart. Exhale, draw the collarbones forwards, upper arms spin back towards ribs. So we're gripping all 10 fingertips until they're a little bit white, and then press through that to give yourself a little more lift. Yeah, this is a pretty strong plank. We'll take a long breath in, press through your heels. Exhale, light as a feather, staying here, eye gaze just ahead of your mat. Let's take 1 more round of breath here. Breathe out. Good, core on. We inhale, rock forwards and tippy toes. Exhale, soften knees, chest, chin to earth. Hug your elbows over wrists. Inhale, slide the heart forwards, shoulders back to your cobra, toes are untucked. Exhale, release your heart back to earth, your head down. Let's take 2 more. Press the toenails. Inhale, lift your heart, lift your head. Exhale, come back to earth. So heart chakra relates to the element of air. Get really light. Inhale. Cobra, maybe lift your fingers. Exhale, hands beside the ribs, tuck toes, hips to heels. Downward facing dog, breathing in to lift hips. And breathe out to heels drop, head drops. So keep those ribs nice and tucked, pulling back towards hips. Breathing here. So in down dog, it tends to feel a little constricted across the back of your heart, and that's natural, just as your rhomboids help you hold your structure. Just find freedom through the breath, through your low ribs. Breathing in, lift hips, heels. Breathe out, bend the knees, look forwards. We're going to take 2 steps to the top of the mat. Maybe more if you need, but try for 2. Halfway lift to breathe in. Shoulder blades back. And exhale, fold soft through the belly, through the heart. Bend knees, rise up to your mountain. Feet are hip width this time. Let's lift the heart. Bend back. Exhale, arms wide, dive forwards. Your heart leads the way. Halfway lift, heart floating up, press hips back. Exhale, hands to mat, step or maybe float back to your high plank. Shift forwards, a full chaturanga, high plank to low plank, halfway. Cobra or up dog, shift the hips and heart forwards. Shoulders back, Urdhva Mukha. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog, hips are high, heels are low. Take 1 full breath in, long side bodies. And a steady breath out. Good. Inhale, lift hips, lift heels. Follow the breath out, bend the knees, look forwards. Stepping 1, 2 to the top of the mat. Opposite foot first, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Let's bring our big toes to touch, finding our chair pose, hips down, arms up. Exhaling, take a deep seat. Good. Breathing here, we're going to tuck the ribs in and glance down, trace your knees back until you can see the toes. Nice. So broadening the heart, check in with your shoulders. Are they too tight? If they're super tight, maybe bend the elbows out and breathe in, and then bring the arms over again. It's kind of repetitive movement. Just helps your muscles ease out some of the kinks. Let's stay arms lengthened as far as you can. Breathe in, back of the heart lifts, chest opens. Exhale, hands behind, interlace fingers. Inhale, open the chest, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, dive forwards. Bound Uttanasana. Halfway lift to breathe in, keep those arms bound. Exhale, release the hands down the back of the legs. Uttanasana. Halfway lift to breathe in. Exhale, hands to mat, step or float back to your high plank. Shifting forwards, hug elbows in as you lower. Cobra or up dog, breathe in. So we're pulling the chest through. And downward facing dog, exhale. Right leg up, inhale, look back. We'll bend the top knee and yawn the hips open, scorpion. Gazing under the left armpit. So checking your foundations, your shoulders are level. If you've melted the left shoulder down, let's gently draw the right ribs towards the left thigh. Deep breaths. Maybe circle that top knee. Three-legged dog. Right leg back, your hips close, pressing through thumbs, first fingers. Right knee to nose, tiger curl, shifting forward to round the spine. Right foot beside right thumb. Back heel down about 45 degrees. Front knee over front ankle. Arms up. Inhaling to your warrior one. Breathe here. Good. So the back blade of your left foot is sealed down. We press through that heel. And feel that stretch build up through the left front side. Pressing through front heel, right hip wraps back. So you're looking to square off your hips and heart. They might not be square, but that's your general direction. Let's bring our hands together, bend the elbows, interlacing fingers behind the head. Exhale. Let's inhale, lift the chest. So we're lifting the chest rather than sticking our ribs forwards. Take one more full breath in. Can you support your skull with your thumbs either side of the neck? Exhale, arms open out, back foot opens parallel with the back of the mat. Warrior two. We're gazing over that front middle finger. So we're building a little strength in our legs, Sukhasan. So we're trying to find the point between strength and ease. Press down through the heels and pull them towards each other and find a lift in the chest, nice and proud. Looking to that front middle finger. So light for your arms, reach them left and right. Nice. Take a full breath in, chin up. Exhale, lean forwards, flip the front palm, right arm to sky, inhaling to your reversed warrior, front knee bent. Exhale, bend that top elbow, and then bend the bottom elbow, maybe bringing your two hands to bind behind or hold on to your shirt. You could also just stay with your arms extended. So inhaling, lifting the right ribs up, looking up. Exhale, stay. And just notice if you started gripping your toes or your jaw, can you just stay here reaching up and leaning back? Soften the jaw. Dig into your heels. Good. Inhale, release the arms out. We're going to cartwheel the arms, frame the front foot. Right leg back, three-legged dog, so light, push out of your hands. Exhale, maybe a one-legged chaturanga as you lower knees, chest, chin, always an option. Cobra or up dog, inhale. And downward facing dog, exhale. Left leg up, breathe in. Bend the top knee, that was a click from me. And gaze under the right armpit. Checking your shoulders if that right shoulder dipped. We're tugging the left ribs towards the right thigh. Good. Taking that left knee high. Big circles if you like. So every round of breath, finding a bit more strength, a bit more lift, as well as ease for your stretch. Three-legged dog, inhale. Left leg back, hips close. Find your tiger curl, exhaling knee to nose, rounding forwards, step forwards to your warrior one. Back heel down, arms up. Breathe here. Good, so we're pressing through heels. Left hip back to give your right side space. Looking up, interlace fingers maybe the other way. Exhaling, hands behind the head. Lifting the chest to breathe. So we're keeping that back leg nice and straight. Inhale, arms up, chin tucked. And open out to your warrior two. So that back foot parallel with back of the mat. Hips and heart open. Finding some strength, press the heels down and draw them towards each other. You'll be tempted to straighten that front knee, keep it bent. And then as you breathe, lifting the chest, gazing to front middle finger and really pulling out of your arms. Get really expansive. One more deep breath in, chin up. Exhale, lean forwards, flip the front palm. We're carving through space. Left arm up, lifting the left ribs. Breathe in. Breathe out, soften that top elbow, reaching behind. And then inhaling, lifting through the left ribs. Breathing out, stay here. Keeping those ribs tucked as best you can. One more full breath in, pressing for heels. Relax through toes, through jaw. Let's inhale, open our wings. Cartwheeling forwards, frame the front foot. Three-legged dog, inhaling. And finding your chaturanga. Urdhva Mukha, press through the hands, lift the heart. Downward facing dog, breathe out. Take a full breath in. And just knowing child's pose is your resting pose, so you can always have a little break. One more deep cycle of breath. And then we're going to start to move a little faster, just breath to movement, and try not to overthink it. Just do what you can and enjoy your breath, your body, okay? Inhale, lift the hips, the heels. Exhale, bend knees, look forward, step or float to the top of your mat. Halfway lift straight away. Inhale, shoulders back. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, arms up, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, arms out and behind. Interlace fingers, roll the heart open, lift the chest. Inhale. Exhale, fold forwards, arms overhead. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, hands behind the legs, caress your legs. Release your head, halfway lift, breathe in. Hands to mat, step or float back. Chaturanga Dandasana, exhale. Cobra or up dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, breathe out. Right leg floats up. Bend the top knee, scorpion. Peek under your left armpit. Three-legged dog, inhale. Push through the back heel, so light. Exhale, tiger curl. Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1. Arms up. Hands behind the head. Lifting up the chest on your inhale. Exhale, warrior 2. Expand out through the arms. Look forwards. Reach forwards, right arm up. Exhale, can you take your bind? Your own hand. Inhale, lift the right ribs. Exhale, cartwheel forwards, moving forwards. Three-legged dog, look back. Shift forwards, chaturanga. Urdhva Mukha, light as a feather, heart up. Downward facing dog, breathe out, humble head. Left leg up, breathe in. Scorpion, breathe out. Looking under right armpit. Three-legged dog, breathe in. Press the heel back. Tiger curl, so light, rounding through the chest. Left foot forwards, back foot down. Warrior 1. Our hands behind the head. Open up, gaze up. Warrior 2. Expand, reaching forwards. Reverse inhale. Taking your own hand, supporting your head, lean back, reversed. And cartwheel, frame the front foot. Three-legged dog, inhale. Shifting forwards, exhale. Inhale, lift the heart, proud. Exhale, downward facing dog, release the head. Take one full breath in here. And a long breath out. So Uddiyana Bandha, your core, still gently supporting you. Let's take the right foot high, inhale. Exhale, tiger curl forwards, right foot beside your right thumb. Front knee over front ankle, we'll drop the back knee. Arms up, inhaling. Exhale, arm sweep behind, interlace fingers behind you. And keeping the elbows bent, roll the shoulders up and back. And then extend the hands, the arms away. Take a full breath in here. So if your left knee is sensitive, you can just break out of your pose and pad up your left knee. Otherwise, from here, exhaling, sink your hips forward. So your core is going to come on to protect your spine. Untuck the back toes. Can you lift your heart a little more? Inhaling. And maybe take your first fingers and just scrape the earth. This is pretty advanced. By advanced, I mean usually it takes a lot of practice to reach this kind of opening. It's in your low bound crescent. Breathing out. Core on. Breathe in. Lift the hips back. Tuck the back toes. Arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. Good. Inhale, lean a long spine forwards. And exhale, twist from your low ribs so the elbow comes outside of right knee. Hands at prayer, at heart center. So we're coming to our bound crescent, our twisted crescent. And so maybe you stay here, keeping the core strong, the heart light, or you could tuck the back toes and lift the back knee. It's to your full twisted crescent variation. And perhaps you open left hand down, right arm up. You could also take your block under the left hand. One more round of breath here. Breathing in, tuck the chin, lean the right ribs back. And hands to heart, soften the back knee, arms up. Inhale. Exhale, take hands to frame the front foot. We're just going to press straight back to our downward facing dog. Left leg up, inhale. Exhale, tiger curl forwards. Left foot beside left thumb, back knee sinks down. Arms up on the inhale. And just breathing here. So just getting really conscious of your foundations. If your right knee is sensitive, definitely pad it up. So as we are on our mat, also in life, taking care of ourselves, our foundations first. Hips are square. And then just taking the hands to swim out, part the skies, interlace fingers behind. Inhaling to roll the shoulders up and back, so we present our heart. And on an exhale, just feeling the lower abdominal muscles knit in as you lean your hips forwards and down. Rolling the chest open a little more. Seeing how far back you can lean without sinking your chest. We're keeping our chest nice and proud, lifted out. Inhaling, hips drift back. Arms up, tuck the back toes. Hands to heart center. Inhale, leaning forwards, long spine. Exhale, twist from lower ribs, right elbow outside, left knee this time. We're just gazing over the left shoulder, inhaling to lengthen the spine, and exhaling to twist from low ribs and lean the left ribs back. So again, option to stay here or tuck back toes and press your knee straight up rather than lift the hips. Yeah. You could also open the arms. Also, if it's in your practice, maybe taking a bind. Left hand behind, right arm under. Maybe you take your wrist. And exhaling, hands back to heart center, sink the back knee, arms up, inhale. Hands planting your energy nice and solid, frame the front foot. Lift the hips, step back to your down dog. I'm gonna lift the hips, lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees forwards, bringing the knees together, untuck your toes. I'm gonna lean back into a closed child. Just sink the head down and draw the arms long beside you. And just close down the eyes. At this point, your heart rate will be lifted compared with when you began. And it's okay, the mind compares. Allow it to make those comparisons. And see if you observe any judgments, any labeling of good or bad, any measurements of yourself and your body as not good enough or even better than you thought. And I want you just to note those thoughts rather than get tangled in them. And bring your awareness back to the central line of breath that courses from tailbone to crown, the central line of truth, of reality.
that's kind of independent, really, of any labels or judgments that your mind might want to stick to the situation. By understanding the subtle difference of the mind's labels and the unshakable, immovable facts of what is actually happening, we can start to regain a sense of empowered choice over our own perspective, our ability to choose kindness and compassion and softer, warmer thoughts towards ourselves, towards our body, even towards the mind. And see how that creates a little more freedom as you breathe across the back of your heart throughout the body. Again, if your head doesn't quite reach the ground, I hope you've found that block under your head or popped a cushion under. Let's take one more full breath here. Long breath out. I'm just going to bring the hands forwards, one side, underneath our shoulders, and gently C-curve the spine, rocking into the hips. As many breaths as you need to lengthen up. Really slow progress and awareness of your kneeling seated position. So we're going to come into a camel pose. If you already know the pose, I'd encourage you to try it this way today. We're going to take a block or a cushion, thick cushion, and we're going to come up onto our knees, tuck the toes, and slide the thin edge of your block just between the thighs. And what we're doing is activating our inner thighs, our adductors, which in turn will help us to maintain stability through the hips and lower spine. Hands at heart center. Full breath in, lifting the chest. Drop the tailbone. Exhale, relax the shoulders. Inhaling, extend that right arm up, eyes follow the thumb as you swim it back. And take your hand on your lower hip, your sacrum, fingers point down. Gazing forwards, breathing out, so keeping your core knitted in, that block nice and tight there between the thighs. Inhale, left hand up. Exhale, gazing back. Ooh. Fingers pointing down. So we're spreading our palms across our sacrum, across our lower hips. Inhale, roll the shoulders back. And exhale, feel your shoulder blades knit in and push forwards like you're in an up dog. And we'll inhale, lift through our sternum like there's that string on your chest. Exhale, dropping the elbows back towards each other. So we keep the chin in to begin with. Now you can stay here or begin to lean back a little more, gently pressing the hips forwards. You're going to need enough energy to come forwards again. So manage your energy here. Maybe you drop your right hand down to your right heel, keeping the chest nice and lifted. And then left hand to left heel. Or drawing our shoulder blades in and pushing up. Yeah, stretching through the front of our chest, our arms all the way to thumbs. And then maybe drop your chin back. Only if that's comfortable for your head. Good. In your mouth, let's take your bottom teeth a bit further than your top teeth, a bit of a stretch for the neck, and take one more round of breath here. Exhale, so core nice and tight, ribs tucking in. We'll take our hands back to our hips, tuck the chin, untuck the toes, hips sink back, release your block, and we'll find our closed child, just laying your spine across the thighs, arms behind, nice and slow. Just let your arms be like jelly, let your Shoulder blades fall out apart from the spine. And give your hips a gentle rock side to side. Just keeping that breath steady. So camel pose is an intense, a strong heart opener. And the temptation is to start gasping or for the mind to reach for explanations or perhaps even blaming, I don't know, the curry you ate last night or whatever stories the mind wants to tell. I want you to bring all of that back to heart center, back to the rise and fall of your breath, lifting the back of your heart and decompressing, stilling your movements to center. One more full round of breath. Let's turn the hands in towards the feet, pressing the shins down. You're going to inhale, dome through the back of your heart. So we're keeping our hips low, and we're just rounding through our spine. Rabbit pose breathing here. A nice counter, flushing breath, flushing blood through the spine. All the way through your neck, your crown. And taking one more deep cycle of breath here. Give it everything. And exhale, release back to earth. Slide the arms forwards. And then just walk your hands towards you, lifting a long spine. Shoulders over hips. I'm going to slide our hips to the left and take your legs out forwards. Feel free to give them a little shiggle. And we're going to bend the knees and bring your soles of feet to touch. Let the knees fall out wide. Coming to a supported butterfly now. Coming into a little bit of yin after quite a strong heart opening practice. So we're going to come to our supported butterfly either with a block or a bolster. So I'll show you the block first and then I'll show you the bolster. Blocks, you can have it on either the first or the second setting. I'll take the second setting. And you want to just slide that back. Take one of your hands to support as you lean back, just taking it to your thoracic. So the section of your spine that's connected to your ribs rather than your lower spine. And you're just going to lay yourself back. This can be scary. If it's too scary on your block, we're going to take the bolster in a moment. And you're just going to lay back and let the arms fall out open. You can bend the elbows. And then just breathe here. To come out of supine butterfly, you're going to close the knees over to one side and roll over and off your props. So that's the block. And I'll just show you the bolster. So with the bolster, you're taking the bolster out like a tail behind you. So your legs are just the same as they were. Knees out wide, soles, feet touching. You just move out the beans. I've got quite a beanie bolster. You're going to lay your spine back over the bolster. Now, if this is still too far back, don't worry because you have solutions. We have solutions. You can take your block, magical blocks, and you can prop that up at the end. Just make sure it's nice and stable. And then just take your position. So you want that bolster nice and close to your hips. Knees nice and wide. And take a long spine. And sit yourself back. And again, you can just let your arms fall out long beside you. You might even rest your hands. One hand on heart, one hand on belly. Or just down, wherever you feel you'd like a bit more healing support today. Ooh. Just take that a bit lower. And so once you're in position, I'm going to take big belly breaths. So if you were practicing any form of breath restriction, breath control, pranayama, I now want you to allow that breath to fully expand out through the belly, the chest. And feel free to sigh. Sighing releases excess heat, excess tension. If you find yourself sighing really intensely, can you slow that sighing down a little? And really allow every exhale to completely escape. When we're caught up in restrictive thinking and judgmental thoughts, there's this harsh energy that manifests often as restricted breath. Breath being life force energy, it kind of makes sense, because if you're forcing rigidity, these expectations upon yourself that perhaps are unrealistic or perhaps are just too much for this moment, then of course you are also restricting your access to expanded energy, to expanded and interconnected life force energy, the breath. And slowing down your processes here as you're supported by your block or bolster. Just scanning through your lovely supportive feet, through your legs, your knees, the hips, all the way up through the organs of your torso. Just observing all of these little synchronicities and interconnectedness of all aspects of your body and being. The heart behind the lungs. The soft tickle of your breath through your voice box. Allowing your back teeth to be really soft, open, let the jaw relax, eyeballs relax. Got one more minute here. If your mind is still wandering, allow it to wander. If it's going still quite fast, we'll give it the mantra, so, hum. So on the breath in. Hum on the breath out. One more deep cycle of breath. Chest and belly rise. Exhaling, allow gravity to deflate your ribs, your lungs, your belly. You can gently just take your palms down onto your hips. You can support your knees to come together and just roll off to one side, off of your props. And just remain on your side just for a moment. Allow your blood to settle. Just observing your breath out. And gently reaching behind. Just going to shift your props out of the way. Thank you, bolster. Thank you, block. And then roll onto your back. So on your back, I'm just going to take a rebound here. So if you have any lower spine complaints, you can keep the knees bent or come into a traditional Savasan rebound. Extend the legs, extend the arms. And just let your palms open up, shoulders away from ears. I'm going to breathe here. Just allowing the links of your spine, the space across your shoulders to, like an elastic band, reset back to neutral. Still breathing, full breaths. Finish your exhale. And bend the knees. We'll roll to one side. And find our way back up to seated. So you can press through the upper hand. And back in seated, we're going to come into our caterpillar. So coming onto your sit bones evenly. If you find that your spine is scooping like this, you're going to take your block and just prop yourself up on a block. If you don't have another block, you're just going to use a cushion. There's nothing too magical about having a block in particular. I'm going to stay down, as that's right for my body. As you give your legs just a little shuggle, give your feet a little wave. In our yin practice, we don't really want to cause ourselves any unnecessary tension. And we're going to bring our bolster in front, just lay that along our thighs. Taking a full breath in, lengthen the spine, and then exhale, just going to fold over the bolster. So don't worry too much about any C-curve in your spine here. You're totally safe as long as you're nice and grounded through the hips. And you're going to let those feet flop and let your head fold down. And if you're needing a little more support here, you could take that block under the long end of your bolster and just rest here. And what we're focusing on is back body breathing. So rather than thinking too much about how long your hamstrings are or whether or not you can touch your toes, I want you to let go of that concept completely. And in our heart chakra practice, really focusing on feeding fresh prana, fresh air into the back of your heart. And on your exhales, allowing that to flush out through the shoulders, the neck, the arms, the fingers. If you had the opposite need, that you actually need to come in deeper, you can remove your bolster and your block completely and just fall forwards just to where feels right for you. And you can allow the knees to bend. Just finding ways to make your own life easier. Just exerting the right amount of effort for you in this moment. So the heart chakra connects with unconditional positive regard, firstly for ourselves, and then to others. And that means finding a way to have that positive regard, even in moments where we think we've failed. And having compassion for ourselves, even in moments where perhaps we can't even find a way to be soft and loving and caring to ourselves. You know, we're just human. It's all part of an experience. And so as you breathe here through between your ribs, you'll notice that the more you soften, the more you surrender to gravity, which is a super strong force, you're going to find that you drop a little deeper into your stretch quite naturally. And there might come a point where you really feel like you can't go any deeper, that you've got nowhere to go. And then if that's the case, just breathe there, because where are you trying to go? Just be here. Full inhales and full exhales. Taking one more deep breath in, nice and heavy, through the hips, through the head. Exhaling, super soft, through the back of the heart, the lungs. And super slowly, as you breathe in, you're just going to gently lengthen up through the spine, one bone at a time. And as you exhale, we're going to take the hands behind and allow ourselves to roll back onto our spine. Going to bring the knees nice and close to our belly button. Inhale. And on an exhale, gently let the knees drop to the right, arms out wide, eye gaze to the left. Just taking what's called an easy twist. If it doesn't feel easy, that's totally fine. And so if you need a bit more space for that left shoulder to drop, you're going to shift the hips over to the right and draw those knees nice and close to the belly button. Just taking big breaths here, you can gently roll that top hip away from your ribs. So this whole practice, finding ways to really connect with an airy and open kind of feeling through the body, easefulness through the breath. Let your eye gaze just roll towards the ground. Rinsing out through the spine. One more round of breath. One inhale, rolling the spine back to center. Feel your hips ground and just shift the hips over back to center. Knees to belly, inhale. And we'll drop the knees off to the other side this time. And if you have found that your knees can't quite touch the ground, that's also fine. I just want you to focus on keeping your shoulders grounded, some nice support behind the heart. You could also slip a pillow or a block under your knees. Just let your eye gaze roll down towards the earth. Every breath out, you can feel your twist just drop out a little more through the ribs. Exhale, full breath out. And then rolling yourself back to center. Drop the feet down, shift hips in line with shoulders. We're going to bring the knees to armpits, ankles over knees, hands behind thighs or behind calves. Maybe you reach up around your feet. Today, also an option to take peace fingers and wrap them around big toes if that's accessible. So if you're feeling any strain in the spine, if you're turtling up through the shoulders and clenching, I want you definitely to just slide that grip, your hands down, all the way down to your thighs. I'm going to try and find as happy a baby as possible. Deep breath in, belly expands. And exhale, relax the shoulders, relax the head, rock your baby side to side. As the bowl of your pelvis rocks, I want you to find more relaxation through the tiny muscles across your spine, either side of your spine. Let your head be really heavy, like such a lazy head, lazy eyes, gently gazing through the ceiling. And even this kind of intention of intentional laziness. We need to really enjoy the breath and understand that perhaps laziness is just our mind's way of blocking restfulness. Perhaps restfulness is a discipline all in itself. Let's come back to center, to stillness. Hug knees to chest, nose to knees. And then become a teeny tiny ball. Hug really close. So the arms, an extension of the heart, we let them wrap around ourselves. Letting ourselves experience all the love and kindness that we are capable of giving. Filling ourselves up. And release out, Savasan. Opening out through the legs, through the arms. I'm going to rock the hips and let the shoulders slide away from ears. And together, let's take 3 deep sighs to completely surrender, completely release. Deep breath in. Release all control of the breath, the body. And slow down, getting really conscious of the coming and going of your breath. Notice how the breath lifts the chest and belly with ease and vice versa. This natural state of being, of coming and going. The state that we call doing nothing and in which so much is happening. Listening as your heartbeat settles. Just allowing your shoulders and your arms, your hands, your fingers to fall like lead. Allowing your hips, your legs, your knees, shins, heels, and your feet to gently fall and melt down. Your tongue softening, flattening out on the bottom of your mouth. Every beat of your heart, every breath, gently clearing through your skull, allowing the eyes to soften. The brow softens. And So heart chakra, its color is green or pink. It's this light, that spectrum, that frequency of light that emanates, fills and expands through the heart space. So allow your breath to just clear and nourish that now. If the mind wanders, allow it to wander. You're just observing. You're being yourself. Begin to invite a deeper breath into chest and belly. Flowing out to fingertips and toes, small movements. Rolling the wrists, the ankles. Gently rolling your head side to side. Just listening to the noises of your head rolling. Like the lips take a swallow. Bend the knees. I'm just going to roll off onto one side. One arm as a pillow. Just breathing here. Observe the quality of your breath. The weight of your body. And the support of the ground beneath you. With eyes closed or downcast, find your way back to a comfortable seat. And just find your sit bones grounded. Spine tall, crown tall. We'll bring our hands to heart center. And just a moment here, observing your breath, the space you've created through your practice, through your attention. Feeling the beat of your heart against your thumbs, the breath through your lungs, 360-degree breathing. Just going to invite back that intention in through the breath, through your whole body. Kind and loving intentions in towards ourselves, gratitude for yourself, your practice. And gently emanating that gratitude out to those who share this practice with us. The journey that is life experience. Hands at heart center, kind and loving intentions. Hands to third eye, kind and loving thoughts. Hands to mouth, kind and loving words to ourselves and to others. Together, let's bow and seal our practice. Namaste.
Thank you so much for joining this practice today. I hope that you have a lovely day. Drink plenty of water. You can do this practice as many times as you like. There are also root, sacral, and our solar plexus chakra practices that you can find elsewhere. So definitely give those a go as well, and enjoy the rest of your day.